Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Single Chronicles. Today we are talking about the blame game. Yes, blaming people for stuff that is sometimes out of your control. Now, I know I always talk about accountability and picking and choosing your partners and who you're going to be with, but sometimes even the slickest, liest snake gets in there and ruins your life and stuff. And there's a point in between being accountable for the type of people you're with and actually healing from such and blaming their behinds for it. So if you're new here, make sure you heart, save, favorite this podcast, whatever streaming service you're listening to. If you're watching here on YouTube, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share these videos, send them to other people. Come on, y'all. It's free. It don't cost you nothing. I know it costs you time, but get to sharing. Anyway, for everyone else, welcome to the Single Chronicles. Hey, hey. Today I'm gonna keep it kind of brief, or at least I'm gonna try to. I know in the past, plenty of times I've talked about being accountable, taking accountability to the type of people that you choose, listening and being aware. I am like 100% all for that. Like I've had some shitty partners in the past. However, they've led me to create all of this. So at the end of the day, I'm like, all right, it was a learning lesson. It was a lesson to be had and a lesson to be learned. But at the same time, we tend to get a little judgy when we're asking others to be accountable for the type of people. You know, there's a saying, wolf in sheep's clothing. And that's a saying because your friends are going, yes, your friends, your family members are going to see what you're not when you're in love. When you love somebody, you're into them, and you're like, ooh, you know, they make me feel good, especially if it's good is good. You ain't going to really be thinking about what type of asshole you with. You just not. But when you think about it, you know, it's not always the time to say, well, I told you so. I told you so. You know, you always think the person is going to change. You don't think that the person is going to be a dick, you know, or you don't see it in the beginning. A lot of times, and there's like, shoot, Tinder swindler, prime fucking example of the type of people that's out here, you know. I don't really watch the show. I just got tidbits of what he's about. You know, they look good, they sound good, they smell good, they feel good. And at the end of the day, they ain't good. They ain't shit. So I don't want us as women or men to blame ourselves and be like, oh, I should have seen it coming. Because you know what? You don't. That's why you're in this situation. That's why you're learning. That's why I'm here. Because I've seen some shit. I've been through some shit. I've done some shit. And I'm like, I look back and I'm all the more wiser. But even in the beginning of, I want to say maybe season 2 of the actual YouTube space, I remember getting duped and had. Like, I thought somebody I was chilling with, and like we both agreed, no relationship, no commitment right now. I just want a monogamous thing. Like you can go do what you want to do. I just don't want to have to worry about catching something. That was my whole thing. That was really all I really give a fuck about. You out here doing what you're doing. But if you feel that there is a need to be doing what you're doing and, you know, you ain't using protection or whatever, please let me know. Because I ain't trying to catch nothing. Because condoms don't stop everything. So I just want to be safe. You know what I mean? Like, I want to focus on the sex. I want to focus on the fun. I want to focus on the feeling, the pleasure, you know, pleasing you, pleasing me. I don't want to worry about, did that motherfucker sleep? Wait a minute. What's that? What's that smell? Oh, what's that? But, you know, then you're getting paranoid. You know, you're not focusing on the act of what's happening because somewhere in the back of your mind, even if you're not paying it any attention in the back of your mind, you worry about where this motherfucker was at before he was with you. And now you're like, damn. So it got to that point where everything was cool and then they just started acting weird. And it's like, yo, I really did I ignore some signs? Did I miss something? You know, and that was when I was doing the Single Chronicles. I was self-aware, so I thought, but I fucked up. So I got to the point where I had to stop being judgy, you know. I had to, like, I've talked about ghosting, I've talked about red flags and all this other stuff. Sometimes the person don't do any of that and they still ain't a shit person. And sometimes you don't realize it until it's far down, way down the road. Like, it could be anything. They could be uninspired to do anything. Like, I knew someone that was with a guy. She was with this dude. They was married. And homie worked. So he was paying the bills. You know, he wasn't the type of person that wanted to mooch. Strong dude. So, you know, she needed some heavy lifting. He gonna do it. Babe, put that down, don't lift that. You know, like, he's one of those types of very down to earth, very kind as far as, you know, on the outside. But she was like, I'm not happy. And I was like, why? Y'all seem like the cutest couple. Like, y'all seem like, what's that show, Mike and Mary? Because, you know, there's the little plus size. I think there's one with, uh, I can't even remember her name. I'm going to Google it in a second. But excuse me, Melissa McCarthy was on the show. Her and the guy that was on it, they were like the black version of them. Funny, hilarious, very complimentary. You know, they complimented each other. From the outside looking in, I thought it was like, oh, black love. Yes, I love it. Hashtag black love. But come to find out, these motherfuckers was miserable. They arguing. They having issues, you know. He want this, she want that. And it was just, one day she called me crying and I was like, yo, what's up? And she told me, I'm not going to dive in it because this is not my story to share, but she told me things that I didn't know what was going on. And from the outside looking in, I'm thinking y'all happy, but this goes on with a lot of people. And it's not to say that she's a bad person or he's a bad person, but the compatibility wasn't there. And there was just something that, you know, what made it painful was that they were trying to prolong the inevitable. Her moving on and him moving on. And they were trying to hold on to something that did not need to be held on to. Sometimes it hurts worse to hold on to something than to let it go. It's like, I want to sniff these flowers, but I'm holding on to the stem, knowing the stem is cutting my hand, the thorns and the rose bush. Let it go, bruh. Let it go. So that's one of those things where we don't see it coming. And I did talk about that, about letting go. Sometimes we don't want to let go. We fear the unknown, or we feel that the other person should accompany us with everything. And it's okay to say, you know what? No, this isn't working. I love you. I know you love me, but we are on two different paths. And the path that we've traveled so far together was meant to get us to this point. But that stop has come, and people act like the end all be all when you get a certain age, that, oh, I'm in this relationship, this is the last chance. There have been people that have met their forever people in their 70s. Life expectancy is way different than it was, you know. And I would rather have 10 years of blissful happiness with the perfect person than to spend all, I don't know how many decades I got on this planet, but whatever that is, let's just say 100. Not 100 decades, obviously. 100 years. Let's say I got 10 decades on this planet. I would rather spend 10 years, 1 decade, with the person that I'm supposed to be with, compliment with, even if that person is myself. I didn't see that coming. Than to spend 10 decades or 100 years with someone I'm miserable with, or that I'm making miserable. We're so afraid of being alone. We're more afraid of being alone than unhappy. That's so fucked up. But that's not what I'm talking about today. What I'm talking about today is the fact that we blame these types of relationships on women. Sometimes we blame them on men too. But I'm going to talk about the victim shaming that we get. I can't really speak. And last week I kind of was off the rails. Last week I did not want to record. And I'm sorry, before I move on, I know last week was a good topic, but it was like I kind of went far left because I was editing the YouTube video and I was about to post it, and I was like, I can't post this shit. I'm still gonna post it, but I'm editing a lot out of it. But the thing is like, yo, my mind wasn't in the space that it needed to be in to record, and I wasn't in the right frame. Then I was upset on top of, this was the time I knew that the last week was going to be a hectic week, and I said, all right, Friday I'm not going to record, yada yada yada, but I just had to say what I had to say, and boom. So that's where I am now. Well, that's where I am, like, looking back, like, damn, Rose, a good ass topic. You fucked it up. You should have just waited. Or I could have came in on Saturday or wrote the notes to what I wanted to talk about and then come back on it and had that episode this week and this episode next week. And then the following week, because I'm taking off the weekend around my mother's birthday is the 15th. So that weekend I'm taking off. There will be no Single Chronicles after that. That's in a couple weeks, y'all. Y'all gonna get some more episodes, but her birthday's coming up, 60. So I definitely we're gonna party. Mother's Day is what? I think next week or the week after, something like that. But we ain't worrying about that. That's down the road. Ain't worried about that. So anyway, because her birthday is always around Mother's Day. I'm not big on the commercial holidays, but her birthday, 60, that only comes around once. She ain't gonna be 60 again any other day. So you know what? Let's celebrate. So that weekend I will be off. So let me just double check my calendar before we proceed. And I just want to kind of give you guys an early heads up so that I know and you know and we all know and we're on the same page. So Monday, May 16th, there will be no episode. So you're going to get one on the 2nd today, right now, if you're listening. And you're going to get one next week. And then the following week we'll be off. And then we'll be back here on the 23rd. So just so y'all know, you're like, wait a minute, where's the... Now y'all know. Back to this. Victim shaming. Blame game. Stop it. Stop it. Now, I've talked about this, but I've kind of only brushed it. Just kind of grazed the subject. We're just used to blaming women anyway. Like, we blame women when they get raped. How the fuck are you going to blame the assault of a woman on her? Like... Yeah, what did you do? What were you wearing? Where were you going? What time was it? Yo, why is it that females inherently we inherit the having to be responsible for a motherfucker doing some shit. The guys never responsible. Like, yeah, they hold them responsible, but they don't hold them accountable fully because it's like, well, you shouldn't have been wearing that time of night. No. We need to start teaching. Look, if you have boys, if you are raising young boys, we're more concerned about how, like, parents raising their kids and the kids want to be the other gender and stuff. But we're not concerned about the boys that want to be boys, that are going to be boys and doing fuck shit when they're young, and we're not calling them on it. Guys are not calling their homies out. Yo, if a girl is walking across the street, all the cat calling, yo, like... If she seems semi-interested, if one person call, all right, fine, cool, whatever. But the thing about it is guys can be so fucking extra and nobody says anything. Like, I remember the other day, I went to the store. I wanted to get a bottle of water. Nothing crazy. Got a bottle of water. I was so glad I had my dog with me because we walked in the store. I had Hazel on her leash, and the guy was like, so... Can I have your number? You look nice. Can I have your number? And yada yada. I'm like, no, I'm not interested. God. Kept going with it. Kept asking. And, well, I'm saying, you want a friend? I'm saying, you want this? Da, 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 da. To the point, I don't know what Hazel did. I think she sneezed. She didn't even growl or bark. She just, like, did... I don't know if it was a sneeze. I think it was a dog cough. Because it wasn't... I know what she sounds like when she sneezes. This was more like a cough. She is old, so... Or whatever it was, the noise she made. He was like, oh shit, I didn't even see the dog there. Oh, my bad, sis. I looked at Hazel. I said, see what I gotta put up with? Like, if I've noticed with her, when over the years, we've had this dog for over a decade now, when the male dog came sniffing, bothering her, and she would look, and she she'd be like, not interested. Teeth get the growling. Dog go about his business. She means business. Now, there have been times he might try it again and again, and then after that, once those teeth get to going, all right, you know what? I'm chill. Human men don't fucking get that. I don't understand. Like, I had a male cat and a girl cat. When the male cat was in heat, he tried to pin down the girl cat. No, she fucked his ass. I remember my cat Loki, poor Loki, was missing a patch of fur off the side of his head for like a month. Cause no means fucking no, Nick. Yo, I said no. The fuck? Men. Yo, I had to tell Loki, yo, you bought that. Like, I'm not going, I should punch you in your head. She said fucking no. You know what I mean? So it's like, we don't hold the men to the same standards that we hold women to, and it's fucked up. And I've talked about that several fucking times, but it don't seem to be getting through anybody's head. So if you're a listener and you're a guy and you have guy friends, check him on his bullshit. We don't check men on bullshit that they do. You know, just because, I don't care if a woman walks up the street naked, does not give you the right to say or do anything to her because she's walking up the street naked. I hope she's fucking wetted and she got like a knife under one of her titties or some shit and she slashes your ass because it serves you right. Clearly, if a woman's walking up the street naked, or a guy, he's not, because like if a guy's walking up the street naked, nobody's gonna go towards him. But if a girl do, oh yeah, let me, the stupid shit. Like, come on now. Anyway, back to this. When it comes to relationships, it's been plenty of times. Well, I told you, you should have known this. How am I supposed to know? Okay, I will take with a grain of salt the accountability I lacked. I'm not saying that I shouldn't have known, but a lot of times our poor relationships picking bad partners and having poor relationships stems from something deeper. It stems from the lack of love, the lack of, you know what I mean, like the shit that goes back to our childhood. This is why fucking therapy is very important, because a lot of times you uncover shit that you don't know is there. Back to the dental example that I give, like, you won't know that you got a cavity unless the dentist goes and does an x-ray. Sometimes the cavity is so small, like they can just drill it, fill it, and be done. Sometimes they be like, all right, you know what, let's just clean it. It should be fine, whatever, depending on how bad it is. But if you leave it untreated, then it's going to become a problem that you can see. Now it's too fucking late. Now you got to get the motherfucker pulled out. So I say that to say this. The point is that we don't see all the shit, you know what I mean, up front. Motherfucker could be a narcissist, he could be abusive, he could be all these things, but at the end of the day, you gotta ask, why would a person of sound mind pick someone like that, let alone stay with someone like that? It stems from something going on deeper, and it's not always, well, I ain't got nowhere else to go. Sometimes it is. Like, y'all remember Burning Bed, Farrah Fawcett, she was with Bull because, you know, he the father of the kids, he the husband, and this was a different time. You gotta remember, this movie came out in the late 70s, early 80s, so the advances that women have, the independence that women have, different. And the thing about that I've noticed is with women, motherfuckers don't like a woman that's healed. Because I've gotten more flack since I've been healing from my traumas, my toxicities, and all this other stuff, or as I'm healing. Motherfuckers hate that shit. Oh, you too good. No, motherfucker, I'm trying to heal. So you're blaming me. You're blaming me for picking a motherfucker like you. But when I've learned to not pick a motherfucker like you, now you want to shame me for being healed and shit. Like, oh, you would be burning in hell if, you know, God don't like this. You supposed to be home barefoot with the babies and submissive. Not going out here getting degrees and getting financial advisors and going and getting yoga and therapy and shit like that. How dare you heal yourself and not put up with my shit and my shenanigans. Fuck you and your fucktivity. I'm not putting up with you or your bullshit. Sorry, not sorry. You know what I mean? We gotta stop blaming poor relationships on women. You know what I mean? Like, yes, I understand you should see some things coming. You know, if that motherfucker punch your head through a fucking wall, chances are he might do it again, and he's not right in the face. He's not right in the head. Get the fuck away. And then let's figure out how not to be with a motherfucker like that. Now, if you date another abusive person like that, then you need to start asking yourself a question as to, why am I falling for these fuckers? Why am I falling for these pieces of shit? And this goes for guys too. You need to start being accountable for, yes, the women that you're picking. However, you need to go back and ask yourself, wait a minute. The last girl I picked was a gold digger. This girl I'm with right now is a gold digger. And chances are the one I'm going to pick after that is going to be a gold digger. I wonder why that is. Why is it that I'm only picking women that go for my money and not for anything else? Despite I don't have a, what's the guy named Elon Musk? You ain't Elon Musk. That money gonna run out. You ain't got 45 billion to spend on a website. You damn sure ain't got money to be spending on these raggedy ass heifers out here. So yo, stop it. Stop it. You need to ask yourself that. Is the person I'm with toxic? Like, are they a bigot? I remember I had a friend that was like dating. He was dating another guy, and there's two guys dating each other. The guy had the nerve to be racist. How you gay and you racist, bro? We need to talk. We need to seriously fucking have a conversation right now. Are you serious? But it's called intersectional, whatever the word is. You could have like misogyny, or you know how they say the sexism within races. You can have prejudices and toxic bullshit within a race. Don't think because you are discriminated against, you know what I mean, that people within your group of the discriminated can't discriminate against each other. Like people in the LGBTQ plus, you know, community discriminate within one another. Black people discriminate within one another. White people discriminate within one another. So, you know, there's always something like that's always there. Like we started with, okay, we got white men, rich white men. They got wives. The wives feel like second citizens. You got black people. Black people as a whole feel like second citizens. But then you got black women who feel like third-rate citizens compared to the second citizens that are. So it's always tiers to it. It's like what the fuck? So, you know, we it's sad. I feel bad because women, we gotta stop allowing this shit to happen. If you're with a guy that's an asshole, I'm not going to say it's your fault. I'm not going to blame him. I'm going to say yes. If you know that he ain't right and you done, all right, let's just say you discovered the red flags and you get the fuck out of Dodge. You got smart with it. You Laurie Strode this motherfucker. You got out. The point is that which, and for those of you that don't know who Laurie Strode is, that's the chick from Halloween. Anyway, if you get the fuck out of Dodge and you're away, now you need to sit down and assess what went wrong, how it went wrong, how you didn't see those signs, what were those signs, and how not to end up in that fucktivity again. However, friends of friends, guys, you know, all of you out there, y'all need to stop blaming women for the types of motherfuckers they with. Because chances are, I remember I had a homie who introduced me to his homie, and this homie was toxic as fuck. And I was like, yo. And now he looks back and he's like, I'm so sorry I put that dude in your life, or I let him. I should have. He had to look back because when he went through his own bullshit and he realized how, I mean, I'm a nice person. I mean, yes, I have some issues and yes, I have some traumas that I'm healing. But the point was that back then I didn't know that I had them. I didn't know why I wanted these types of people in my life or why I gravitated towards them. Because it wasn't about who I was attracting. I attract whoever the fuck I want. It was who I was gravitating towards and who I felt worthy of at the end of the day. And I had to ask myself, no. And I'm not going to feel bad about it. Like, and this includes friends. I'm like, no, not again. Friends, lovers, whatever. If you are not, if our shit is not aligned, you know what I mean? I'm tired of trying to school y'all motherfuckers on how I want to be treated. If you're not, if it's not right, if you ain't doing what you're supposed to do, I'm out. My peace is priority. So fuck all of that shit. See what the shirt says? It says love yourself. Even though this particular, I'm trying new vendors and motherfucker messed up the damn hoodie on the. How you mess up the shit on the first try? But these are on spring. I was trying to support somebody else, but these are actually on spring, not printed fucked up like this. Anyway. Back to this. So yes, accountability is very important. Accountability is indeed needed. However, we have to stop blaming how relationships end and how they are on females. We have to stop blaming them for the things that they go through. You know, it's not our fault if we're assaulted. It's the person that fucking did the assaulting. It's not our fault if we're with someone that's abusive. It's the person who's fucking abusive. And then we take it back to our childhood. What fucked up ass childhood did we have that was never acknowledged, so that, to the point when we got into our adulthood, we gravitated towards those same emotionally fucked up ass people. Because you only go for what you know how they say you fall in love with your parents? Doesn't always have to equate to looks. It could be the emotional fuckery that your parents had put you through, or whatever. Whether it was they was borderline and didn't know it, whether it was narcissistic and they know it, whether it was deadbeats, just ain't shit ass fucking parents, and naturally you're going to gravitate towards an ain't shit ass person, and then because you're not healed, you're going to be bitter about it, and you're going to be blaming everybody else on the fact that you fucking chose this person because you chose not to heal. So yeah, the accountability still falls back on you. However, we still got to take some responsibility on the fact that that person still fucked up. Like, hello. I was in an abusive relationship. I don't sit up here and blame myself for this motherfucker trying to punch a fucking black my eye or whatever the shit and all the other shit he put me through. No, that was 100% his fucking fault. I did nothing to bring any of that shit on. And any other abused woman that has to go through that shit, it is not her fault that she's with this dickhead. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, like I said, it stems from some shit she don't even know is there. She needed to heal from her childhood. And it also stems from he's a piece of fucking shit. How about, can we call pieces of shit and just go from there? Like, can we do that? Can we not blame us poor women? Because I swear, we got to be fucking responsible for everything. We got to worry about how we dress. We got to worry about where we going. We got to worry. Yo, you know what we need to do? Instead of having hidden cameras everywhere, we need to have a bunch of motherfuckers that come out. I don't know if y'all ever seen that movie Chopping Mall, and they had the killer robots in the mall, and anybody that wasn't supposed to be in the mall, the robot, they come out and fucking, they had the little chains, buzzsaw and shit. That's what we need. So anytime a dude comes out to do something to a fucking female he ain't supposed to be doing, I don't care what the fuck she got on. I don't care what she dressed like. I don't care what she smelled like. I don't care what she got. As soon as the motherfucker come out there, here come the chopping mall robots. Fucking hacking everything. Hands, all appendages. And when I say all, I mean all. Just do that. Yeah. Fuck y'all. I don't care. I'm on my bag, like, yo, maybe it is that time of month, so I'm a little bit aggressive. But the point is that, I'm so fucking sick and tired of this shit. Like, we really sitting up here blaming motherfucking women for the shit that we go through. And it's like, you're gonna say, oh yeah. And then another thing, that a lot of people do, and this, I'm gonna wrap this shit up. We use antiquated sources as to why women are experiencing the shit they would do. Oh, you know what? The Bible said a good girl is worth her weight in rubies. And don't get me wrong, I'm not disrespecting the Bible or the Torah or the Quran, but I'm saying, think about some of the antiquated things. These are books and sources written by men at the end of the day. So now there are some surahs, there are some books, there are some verses, there are some parts that are dedicated to women, written by women, so they say. And the point is okay, whatever. Okay. But at the end of the day, the majority of those texts are written by men. So these are their views back then about men. Like, I am supposed to be held responsible because you think lustful thoughts of me. So I need to do whatever I got to do in my power so that you don't think lustful thoughts of me, or else my hair going to fall the fuck out. Yeah, we had to take a moment of silence on that fucktivity. Think about that. Really, really fucking think about it. I need to be held accountable for the shit another motherfucking thinks, says, or do. I can't help I'm a fucking female. I can't help that I look a certain fucking way. So what about pedophiles? Are we holding them to the, or are we holding these little kids that are attracted to pedophiles to the same standards? Or is just grown women that y'all just want to be fucking retarded and y'all don't want to be accountable for the shit that y'all are actually fucking doing out here? Man, fuck out of here. Yes, the Single Chronicles is yeah, I'm on a different wave today. But I'm just in a good mood. I'm still in a good mood. Anyway, guys, I am off this thing. I do have a sponsor for today. I need to go. I left the damn sponsor information. But anyway, I will go and get that. But yes, definitely, man, oh man, I mess with y'all. So I'm going to get off of this thing. I want y'all to stay tuned. We got a promo, and we got a sponsor for the week, and we also have the spotlight slash sponsor, and then we have the accountability corner. I'll be a little more calm when we come back. I promise. I promise. I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try. I swear I'm really gonna try. I really am. Okay, so today's spotlight of the week is the Little Ones of Wisdom Daycare and Musical Academy. This is a daycare ran by a woman by the name of Robin Newton. She has 2 locations. She's a beautiful woman, by the way. She's an awesome inside and out. I had the opportunity of meeting her for a private Zumba event she wanted to have for her staff, and we clicked right then. So she wanted to spotlight her 2 businesses, her 2 daycares. The first location is at 5904 Old York Road. That's here in Philadelphia, PA. The zip is 19141. That's like in the Logan area. The other one is at 6907 Rising Sun Avenue, also obviously in Philly, 19111. And that is kind of going towards the northeast area, I guess. However, but yeah, this is she has instruments in there. She has some drums, and it's a daycare. So this is a place where you can drop your kids off. They accept subsidies, cash, all that good stuff. However you want to pay, reach out to them. Those are the 2 addresses. She is not on Instagram yet, but she is. We're getting her there. She does have a website. I will leave that information below. But her number is 267-602-7358. Again, her name is Robin, like Rockin' Robin, tweet. Robin Newton, and you can reach out to her and get your child enrolled in the Little Ones of Wisdom Daycare Musical Academy, because music is such a healing thing, and to teach that to children at a young age is just beautiful. One of her slogans on one of her business cards that she gave me, it says, "We're all God's children, have wisdom." And that is so beautiful. I was like, oh, because kids are smart. We don't give them enough credit, but they are. I believe that they are having an open house in May. I don't have that information right now, but I will leave it down in the description box. So be sure to check Little Ones of Wisdom Daycare and Musical Academy. 6907 Rising Sun Avenue, 5904 Old York Road. Again, that number is 267-602-7358. And that's your sponsor for the week. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Single Chronicles. Today we talked about victim shaming and the blame game. We tend to blame others, sometimes out of fear, sometimes out of anger for the things that happen to them. We got to stop doing that. It's hard enough out here to be a woman, but to feel accountable for, and we already feel guilty for a lot of the things that we experience on a day-to-day basis for no reason at all, and then to have more blame and shame thrown onto us because we were fooled by someone. That's kind of sad. It really, really is. And it's not to say that we shouldn't be more aware or we shouldn't be more alert or accountable, but it's to say that be kind to people. Like, it's not wrong to be kind to a woman, to say, hey, I'm the victim here. And it doesn't have to be situations of assault. It could just be a relationship going sour. We don't want men to be accountable for or men don't want to be accountable for how things end, for their unfaithful ways, or, oh, well, I wasn't happy and so I cheated, or I wasn't this, so I did this, or I wasn't that, so I did that. You could have just left, or you could have brought that to my attention. Now, this is where it comes on to the level of accountability for both people, and this is why I call this accountability corner. If you're with a partner and you're not happy, you bring that unhappiness and the reasons for that unhappiness up to your partner, and they do nothing. This is your opportunity to say, hey, we can get therapy, you can work on this issue, or I can leave. I'm not going to be where I'm not wanted, and I'm not going to be where I'm not happy. There's no rule that we have to stay in the struggle love. Like, there's no rule. And this goes both ways for guys and girls, or non-binary, whatever you want to relate to. This goes for humans, period. You don't have to be where you're not wanted. You don't have to be in a space and take up a space that is not for you. Just go. So we have to get out that. We got to get out that mindset. Like, I'm going to make it work. No, you don't have to make anything work. You have to focus on your peace and your happiness. Because if I'm happy and I find someone else that's happy, we can be happy together. But my happiness shouldn't be dependent upon you, and vice versa. And when things go sour, it should not be my fault. You did this, I did that. Let's take our own share of the blame and go our separate ways if we need to. And that's that. You ever notice that when men get, and I'm not trying to be feminist, ladies, sexist, but you ever notice when in abusive relationships, and I'm not even gonna say men, I'm gonna say women too, because I've had my share of abusive women too. Like, it's always a thing. You see what you made me did, like, before they flip off and do some shit. Like, it might not even be physical. It's not always physical abuse. Sometimes it's mental and emotional abuse. Look what you made me do. Like, that's the first thing that always comes out of a narcissist or someone who is an abusive partner. They always say, look what you made me do. You made me lose my mind. You made me lose control. No, I'm not a remote. I can't control you no more than you can control me. You lost control because you lack it on your own. Had nothing to do with me. You chose to be with a crappy partner because you might have not known they were crappy in the beginning. And on top of the fact, you didn't know that that's what you gravitated towards because you didn't have light and love in the beginning of your life, your early years. You didn't know how to receive love because you were never given it. Your parents might have bought you stuff. They might have been fun at times, but then there were times when they were hella toxic, and that's what you know. So you go to someone that hot one minute, cold the next, off and on, up and down, emotional roller coaster. You go towards that and you gravitate towards that because that's what you know. And at the end of the day, we have to learn. Like I said, this is the accountability corner. We got to learn, once we see those signs, okay, something is not right. There has to be a reason why. And this is why, again, I said try therapy. And the first one or two, maybe even 3 therapists might not be a good fit. It's just like a hairdresser or a barber. They might not be good fit. You might say, oh, this isn't working. I don't really, not feeling it, But again, you have to find it somehow, some way. And to you men, I tried to keep this not a feministic type of episode where I just man bash, because I don't want y'all to think, but I see so much of it where, women are blamed for so many different things in the relationship. Like, we are sitting here seriously blaming women, for the type of, we're not submissive enough. We're not doing this enough. We're not doing that enough. We're just not enough. We're constantly told in this world we're not enough. That is so messed up. Be sexy, not too sexy. Be aggressive, but not too aggressive. Be, dominant a little bit, just a little bit, but I really want you to be submissive. I want you to cater to me, but don't treat me like a child. It's a lot of back and forth and tug of war. Let me tell you something, men. You want your woman to be submissive. You want to lead. A leader doesn't ask to lead. A leader just leads. People automatically follow a leader. He doesn't need to ask, beg, or demand people to lead, to follow him. People just do it because they believe in him automatically. There's no gift of gab. There's no friction. They just follow. The masses will follow a person that is charismatically a leader. So to the guys out there, oh yeah, she don't want to submit to me and she don't want to do this and I'm supposed to be leading, and a leader leads. I hate to use this example, but Hitler was a very good example of a leader. People just followed him. People just listened to what he had to say. Yes, it was because he hated a whole group of people, but the point is that he is no way in the world, if he wasn't a successful or an effective, I'm going to use, instead of good, I'm going to say effective. If he was an effective leader, he would not have had half of Europe and parts of Asia following him. Other leaders following him. So, I say that to say this, and I'm going to let you guys go. If we got to stop giving these guys and these girls too, because some of these girls they're so brainwashed into not being able to think. I'm not saying that you got to be this independent, a lonely woman. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying you still need to have a mind of your own, just like he has to have a mind of his own. You need to go into a relationship healed and find someone who else who has healed as well. Now, you might have some things y'all discover down the road and you're healing together. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But we have to stop finding ways to blame women for everything. This is not always going to be a Samson and Delilah situation. Blaming the woman for Samson get his hair cut off. Blaming the woman for original sin. Blame the woman for John the Baptist getting his hair cut off. We just blame the women for everything, but we never go deeper into the story as to why things went. It's like Macbeth. They wanted to blame the woman. The woman did this. Lady Macbeth did this. Lady Macbeth did that. But somebody told Macbeth in the beginning he was going to do all this stuff in the first place. He could have just said, no, I'm not going to do any of that. He was led by his own pride and his own whatever, and that's what really got him in this. Men y'all gotta get your head out of your asses, excuse my language, and you gotta get out of your own headspace. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode today. I'm gonna touch base on this particular episode. I just realized I left my notes today. I was looking at them, I'm like, these aren't the notes that I had. But thank you so much for tuning in. I really appreciate you guys. Make sure you check out the sponsor spotlight of the week. If you got little kids and you need a daycare in that area, I believe one of those sites are 24 hours if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, definitely a great woman, really sweet, great business mindset woman. Yeah, see? We promoting women out here. The Single Chronicles, again, we will reconvene next week. So you guys will be seeing me again and hearing from me again next week. However, that there will be no episode on the 16th of May. So you get one more episode next week, and then I'm taking a week off. I would normally be in that thing recorded, Friday the 13th. Oh my God, I'm just full of wind and everything else. But yeah, definitely check out the Single Chronicles next week. We got a good topic. I'm gonna try to bring a guest on if I can. If not, I don't know. Maybe I want to debate somebody. I got a lot of Kevin Samuel wannabes still on my heels, and maybe I'll bring them on the show and talk my trash. We'll zoom it out. Yeah. I'm still paying for Zoom. I'm barely using it. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for tuning in this week. I will see y'all next week. I'm going to end this like I always do, and that is be awesome, be you, but above all else, love yourself. Do you see the T? Yeah. Yeah, that's my little crop hoodie. Got my belly button out. Anyway, I'm done. All right, guys, take care. I got to find a remote to the thing. All right, there it is. Bye.